Coach, assistant principal, 5 years. She was a founding principal of our own high school, and principal coach for a year. And then she came to City Poly, where she's been with City Poly for 2 years. This is her third year with us. She's the mother of two sons, a wife, a reader, podcast listener, planner, question asker, and traveler. And then we have our APs, Anthony Jenner, ELA teacher for 5 years here at City Poly. He's a City Poly assistant principal for 3 years, father of two girls, 4-year-old and a 4-week-old.
Oh, wow.
So congratulations to Mr. Jenner. He's a runner, Notre Dame football fan, reader, home cook. He's an educator, and he likes being an educator because he loves having his thinking and view of the world shift. And then we have our other AP, Diana Calix. She is a math teacher by trade, testing coordinator, summer school coordinator, leadership facilitator, assistant principal for 2 years here at City Poly. She's an avid traveler, loves music, and a foodie. Then we have next our main office team, and that would be the wonderful Miss Kathy Morrow. She's our school business manager. Also, Miss Maria Peralta, our school secretary, Eric Nicholson, who is our dean and jujitsu coach, and followed up by myself, Mr. Sanford, your parent coordinator. Coming up next will be Miss Denise Laura, our guidance counselor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sanford. That was really good. I think you should now do Jeopardy and stuff. That was amazing. Um, good evening, everyone. Thank you guys so much for being present. I'm sure you guys also feel like the moments have been stolen from us with the whole COVID from 8th grade graduation to now. We're plugging in now. Kind of curriculum night in here. So I appreciate you guys coming and being on time. So my name is Miss Laura. I am the 9th grade school counselor. My email is right there. My schedule, I do City Poly Advisory, aka City Poly Pride, every day. That's where we get the attendance and the news and we socialize. And we also have this chill and chat. I don't know if you guys are working from home too with the kids, but I'm kind of tired of Among Us, but the kids love it. I'm trying to do other things, but I want to become creative in regards to socializing with the kids. Office hours are every day, even though specifically these office hours that I have here are for Tuesday through Friday for field ed and other things that will go on. And that's my student support link. But if you guys ever want to meet or the students ever want to meet, I'm always available. I describe myself kind of like the student advocate. Like I have my union rep and I feel like I'm the students union rep. So hopefully you guys all heard me instead of me asking now at the very end. But looking forward to developing relationships and growing with you guys for the upcoming 3 years. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Miss Cruz. I am the Algebra 1 teacher for the 9th grade. I teach with Miss Egypt, and here's our class schedule. We have class every Thursday and Friday, and so 4th period is from 12 to 1, basically. 5th period is from 1 to 2. And these are my links for office hours as well as for class. And so our goal, our office hours after school is Monday through Friday from 2 to 2:40. And just a little bit about me, I'm a big athlete. I love sports, I love hiking. And so these are just some pictures of me doing those things with my husband. And we also make candles. And if you want to contact me regarding Algebra 1 or how I can support your student more, some of your children are also in my advisory. And so feel free to contact me at cruz@citypolyhs.org if you have any further questions. And I'm really excited to meet you all.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Egypt. Thank you for being here tonight. As Miss Cruz said, I co-teach algebra with her on Thursdays and Fridays, 4th period. This is my second year at City Poly, but my 10th year teaching. Prior to City Poly, I worked at a high school for students with disabilities, and I feel really strongly about disability rights, and I am involved in the disability rights movement. I also feel strongly about math, and I feel that there is this common theme that people think they're not good at math, but I believe, and I try and get my students to believe, that anyone can do math and that everyone is good at math. There's no such thing as being bad at math. And so here is my schedule and contact information. In addition to doing goals and office hours, I do provide intervention services for students with IEPs every Monday, and that is by invite, and that's called Special Education Teacher Support Services. So that is an intervention class. So if your child does have an IEP, we can follow up through email or by phone. And so a little bit about the Algebra 1 course. Like I mentioned, both Miss Cruz and I believe everyone is good at math. And so we try and get our students to believe that and focus on a growth mindset and that it's okay to make mistakes. Our algebra class is a little different than what they might have experienced in middle school. We really like to focus on the application behind algebra, especially this year when it's not so Regents-based. And so we want students to develop their critical thinking skills and be able to use algebra and math to solve real world problems. And so we've done a lot already, and we've kind of shifted gears a little bit over the past few weeks, but we've focused on some content related to order of operations, the coordinate plane, patterns and sequences, average rate of change, interpreting graphs, and function definition graphically and algebraically. So far, students have been required to do 7 assignments on Google Classroom. And like I said, we've shifted gears over the past few weeks, and we are working on a platform design project where students are choosing a platform on social media, TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube, and they are creating accounts, and we are looking at data on based on the content. So looking at graphs and data on the content they posted. So Ms. Cruz is going to talk a little bit about that more and where we're going for the rest of the year.
Okay, and so to finish up the rest of the fall semester, we're going to continue with our function definitions using a table or coordinate points. We're going to distinguish between the 3 major functions of Algebra 1, which are linear functions, exponential functions, and quadratic functions. We're also going to look at the transformations between these different functions. And then by the end of the fall semester, they'll be solving equations and inequalities. And so as we've done before, we are going to continually post weekly assignments on Google Classroom. And this platform design project is going towards the end of the semester. And so we really want them to just be able to post content that they're passionate about. And then from the content and from the views that they get, we'll be analyzing each graph and comparing it to the different functions that we're learning as we go along through the fall semester. So if you have any further questions about the curriculum or about the assignments, please feel free to reach out to me and Ms. Ejik. Thank you.
Okay, so just so everyone knows, all of these slides will be available for you, and as well, this Zoom meeting is being recorded so that you can go back if you've missed any part of it. You can go back and watch it. I am Mr. Avery. I am the ELA teacher for the 9th grade, and here's some information. My email is avery@citypolyhs.org. Your children meet with me on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, either first period from 9:20 to 10:20, and there's the Zoom link there, or second period 10:20 to 11:22. We have gold, which is invite only, although a student can always say, I would like to come to your gold session, Mr. Avery, or Ms. Dove, or Ms. McKenzie, my co-teachers, and they can come on, they can be invited to come to that. And we have also office hours on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Now I'm going to introduce you to Ms. Dove, the co-teacher.
Good evening, City Poly family, friends. My name is Ms. Dove. I'm a special education teacher for the 9th grade alongside Mr. Avery and Dr. Watson. And I am a co-teacher on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, first period ELA 1. I'm also a co-teacher on Thursdays and Fridays, period 1 with Dr. Watson Living Environment. I also like, similar to Miss Egypt, I do hold a sets session, which some of your children have been invited to on Mondays. And I'm here for you if you need it. That's all. Thank you. I'm a bit tired. I'm sorry, guys. I've been holding sessions all day.
And Ms. McKenzie.
Hi, good evening. Bienvenidos. Welcome. I am the English as a new language teacher. It's normally called ESL. I go by the pronouns she, her, and hers. I am the ENL teacher for the entire school. So I'm here at this meeting because I know most of my students are in the 9th grade, but I actually do language support for the 9th, 10th, and 11th and 12th grade students. So as stated, I work with Ms. Dove and Mr. Avery Tuesdays and Wednesdays for the ELA class. And I put my class schedule here to show you that. I've also worked in 10th grade with global studies with Mrs. Nadell and Mr. Vasquez during, I think that's fourth period or third period. And then I work with the physics teacher for 11th grade with Mr. Horvitz and Mr. Hartstein in the morning. That's Thursdays and Fridays. And then I have my own standalone ENL class that meets on Thursdays and Fridays, fourth period from 1 to 2 p.m. And that's an extra support for students who need that type of language support. So in those classrooms, that's what I service for the students. I have gold tutoring every day, and it's Monday through Friday from 2 to 2:40. I have attached the gold link, and I also I added my contact information as well. It's Mackenzie2@citypolyhs.org. So you can definitely check that out. Thanks.
Okay, so in English, your child will be reading and annotating text, expressing the ideas through analytical and argumentative writing. And through these experiences, your child will become a better reader, writer, and speaker. So what we've done so far, we did reading diagnostic to start the year. These are the grades that you would see throughout your pupil path if you've been able to see that. We have annotated texts for questions, observations, summaries, writing strategies, and focus questions. The texts have been a poem, Richard Corey, the short story, Thank You, Ma'am, by Langston Hughes, the short story, 11 by Sandra Cisneros, the short story Charles by Shirley Jackson, and the short story Just Lather, That's All by Hernando Tellez. Been learning to write complex paragraphs using a specific structure, and then we've written 2-point theses and statements with paragraphs to back it up. The purpose behind this is we want students to be able to be successful writing a strong, complex paragraph before they get to the essay, which we will be getting to later in the year. What we're about to do, we're going to be writing personal narratives, teaching our classmates about how our experiences with Poly Pride, professionalism, resilience, involvement, discovery of self, empathy, and how they shaped us into the people that we are today. We're going to peer edit them to make our narrative stronger, and then we are going to publish them into an actual physical book that you will be able to take home and show off to family members and friends and everyone that you actually have a child who is a published author. We're really excited about this.
So I have a standalone ENL class that services all grade levels because ENL students have various language levels that they need support in. So this is from 9th through 11th grade. So I work with Mr. Avery with the English class, a lot of the students in this separate ESL class. And really whenever I push into either physics or global or ELA, I'm focusing on the 4 domains for English support, which is reading, writing, listening, and speaking to help them improve in that level. And the main thing I also try to work with all the classes is just working on their critical thinking skills, improving their academic vocabulary, and their writing skills. So that's really my focus with the ESL class, is trying to improve their confidence level, that language support, and giving them the extra support they need to support them in all the classes as they move throughout their high school career.
Hey, everybody. It's Dr. Watson. I'm the living environment teacher. We have living environment on Thursdays and Fridays during first.
Can
everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, hi. So so far we have done characteristics of life, the structure and function of the cell membrane and cell organelles, and we are just working on the cellular respiration, photosynthesis, and ATP. So the things that are pink, let me just tell you, those are the things that are the main themes of the regents. And just in case we have to take the regents, that's why I'm stressing those 3 units, the structure and function of the cell membrane and cell organelles, which we have been working on now. And then what we're about to do is the anaerobic versus aerobic respiration. Then we're going to go into the human body system unit, where we're going to talk about immunity, homeostasis, and then everybody's favorite, reproduction. Then the further units throughout the year to June are genetics, evolution, and then we're going to talk about cell to organism to ecosystem, which links all of those things together. And then we're going to finish out with ecology. So just so you know, like the main point of this class is to have the students be able to take any textbook or reading and be able to use paraphrasing and annotation and Cornell notes to understand the main ideas, et cetera, in the work. So we're going to be using a lot of different vocabulary mastery activities. Both Ms. Dove and I, lots of flashcards, like literally index cards from the dollar store, please. None of those Mead ones from CVS for $5. No. But anyway, yeah, so we're just hoping that our students will become more responsible and thoughtful learners through this literacy program, that stuff. So, and I work with Ms. Dove, as you can see, that was us last year during Spirit Week. Thank you. Next slide.
Hello, good evening, guys. My name is Mr. Arias. I'm the engineering teacher for the 9th grade this year. This is my email, arias@citypolyhighschool.org. We actually meet Thursdays and Fridays, first period and second period. These are both the links for the first period and the second period. Gold hours and office hours, if you guys keep on hearing this is basically where we meet with students to give them additional support. This is when I hold my Zoom, my gold and office hours from 2:05 to 2:40, and this is the actual link. All right, so a little bit about me. I've been teaching at City Poly for about 13 years. I actually came from a architecture background. I'm actually a practicing architect at the same time that I'm actually teaching, still am. Just a little bit about what my goal is for the class, for our students, is basically for them to understand the concept of engineering and what is the engineering design process and how to approach any problem using something like the engineering design process. What we've done so far this semester, we've looked at the engineering process and what it is. We've actually learned how to keep an engineering notebook and how to design an engineering notebook. We looked at some foundations on engineering design concepts. We started looking at engineering measurement units and conversions and the application that has in our real world. We also have been looking at technical drawings, so things like multi-view sketches, isometric and oblique sketches, and actually one-point perspective. We just finished doing that this week. What's coming up next? For the rest of the semester, we're going to be looking at engineering history, basically ancient engineering accomplishments as compared to modern engineering accomplishments. Things like bridges, like how has bridges changed over the years? Compare, an ancient bridge to something more modern. Look at all the different branches of engineering, because there's so many different branches of engineering, and our kids are like all over the place as far as like what they like, what type of engineering they like. Some of them tell me they like mechanical. Some of them tell me they like electrical engineering, civil engineering. There's so many different ways that you can approach engineering as a career. And then the last thing is, what do you need? How do you prepare yourself for an engineering degree? And lastly, towards the end of the semester, we're going to look at computer aided design. So that's basically designing with a computer and then actually modeling a 3D, object in a computer and being able to actually print that. So that's more like manufacturing. And that's about it. I'm excited to teach your kids.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Miss St. Fard. I am a Spanish teacher by training. I've taught in the New York City Department of Education for 16 years. I've taught some other things over the course of the years, but Spanish has mainly been my subject, going from middle school all the way through AP level. Just to tell you a little bit about me, although I speak Spanish, I do also speak Haitian Creole. I am an Afro-Latina, and I also have dedicated my studies to teaching not just literally Spanish, French, or Haitian Creole to those who are interested, but to also highlight the connections that exist between all of the Americas, especially through the lens of the African diaspora. And some of my most admired, most cherished writers, authors, figures are featured here in a poster that one of our students did last year for his Afro-Latino History Month project, which included Jesus Colon, Roberto Clemente, and Nicholas Guillen, amongst others. Please change the slide. All right, so my office hours are Thursdays and Fridays from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. This is the actual Zoom link that you may use to reach me. I do ask that you register in advance. So if we need to prepare for that meeting, especially if it's with the student and the student wants to review an assignment and go over feedback, then I just like to know who's coming, and so we can have a focus session on any of the material that the student needs reinforcement or support, whatever it is that they may come to me for. Or likewise, the time is for parents if you would like to speak to me. If you want a lesson on how to use the platform, then that's what that time is for. All right, our actual class meeting is scheduled on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If the student is scheduled in period 4, they're with me from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. If the student is scheduled for period 5, they're with me from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Apart from that, I pretty much have gold every day in some form or fashion, but the designated time slot for me is Tuesday and Wednesday from 2 to 3 p.m. And I try to cycle. So if your child hasn't had Go With Me yet, they will. And that's what the time is allotted for. Now, regarding the actual curriculum, we've introduced Middlebury Fuel Ed Spanish this year. This is a new platform. We're doing Spanish differently this year, as far as 9th graders being programmed to take Spanish 1 virtually. So it is fast paced. You will note and you will see, compared to the other subjects, we are seemingly moving at warp speed, considering that we're getting ready to start a unit 10. But the reality is the lessons build on each other. So where in unit 1, the students learn to meet and greet, they touched on the alphabet, that became looped in with them in the next unit learning class subjects and talking about their school day. Then that led into them adding being able to express their feelings and starting verb conjugations. So by unit 3, they're introduced to verbs like estar and ser. However, they are not taught to conjugate until unit 6, really. And Unit 4 and 5 was heavy on culture. They learned nationalities and how to express where they are from, or where a friend is from, or where their family is from. In these first few units, the culture that is featured is Mexican culture. So any cultural facts that they learned would, right, be from the Mexican culture. So they should be working on mastering telling time, especially going forward with unit 5, 6, 7, and 8. Those lessons will be recycled in the next part of the course. Their midterm is scheduled for them to take after they complete Unit 9. And Unit 9 is all review. So the next piece to Spanish for our students will be them being able to conjugate not just regular verbs, but verbs that have irregularities, like the verb gustar. Okay, it's just an example of what we would call an irregular, right, present tense verb conjugation. So it's just the next step in that process. They'll finish Unit 10 by learning cultural facts about Spain and talking about what hobbies they actually have and like. And there's so much more to come. If any of you would like to meet with me and you are not on schedule with me tonight, please make sure you write down, or I'll send, you can email me my contact information and we can set up our own conference. Thank you. Have a good night, or see you later.
Hi, I'm Mr. Cohen. Yeah, as you can see, I've loved phys ed since I was a little kid. I always had some type of athletic gear on when I was little. Played almost every sport I could get my hands on. I played baseball, hockey, basketball, soccer, football, and just to mention a few. My class is on just one day a week on Wednesday, 4th period, between 12 and 1. My office hours are from 2 to 2:40, but if you ever need anything, you could always email me and I'll get back to you whenever I have a free moment, and it'll probably be before 2. So, and that's my lovely family in the corner right there that we love to travel, and you can move to the next slide. So I've been at City Poly for 10 years, and I've been teaching in the DOE for 25 years. And these are the topics that I'll just, in the beginning, we, both Mr. Del Preti and I, that's the other 9th grade phys ed teacher, which I'll get to his slides in a minute. Both of us were setting up how to set goals, because what we're doing with online phys ed is basically working out in your house. You don't need any equipment. And so the first 4 lessons basically were what you need to set goals and how to set goals. And then a couple of weeks ago, we did cardiovascular workouts, aerobic workouts, and we just started anaerobic workouts, you know, working out body parts, and we started with arms, and this week we moved on to legs. So we're going to do isolated muscles, so each part of your body is going to be 1 week, and then we're going to move into other aspects of working out, flexibility, circuit training, and then hopefully developing your own routine based on the goals that you set in the beginning of the year. So far we've done 7 assignments. And next slide. And this is Mr. Del Preti. He's also been in City Poly for 10 years. So the phys ed department has been together for 10 years. We usually teach together in the gym. He has a 2-year-old, and we both went to school in New York City. Ms. Del Preti played football in Lincoln High School. I played baseball at Beach Channel. I grew up in Far Rockaway. Ms. Del Preti grew up in Bensonhurst, Gravesend area. He teaches 5th period between 1 and 2, and he has the same office hours as I, from 2 to 2:40. And he'll also, both of us really respond to your emails pretty quick. So if you email us at the City Poly email at the bottom, we will get back to you. Mine was on the previous slide. It's Cohen at City Poly. You don't have to wait till that 2 to 2:40 time. We try to get back as quick as possible. Next slide. And I kind of went over that he's doing the exact same thing. Our lessons might be a little different, but it's the same thing. I kind of went over that before, but that's about it. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, so now we're getting into the teachers who actually are normally 10th grade teachers, but your child may have their classes. So I'm Mr. Avery, I'm going to be reading them. We have Mr. Stromer and Ms. Marshall who teach geometry. Mr. Stromer is a New Yorker through and through, ex-Navy, married for 33 years, and have 2 great kids and something. Ms. Marshall is a proud New Yorker, born and raised in Bed-Stuy. She currently lives in Brownsville. She loves to travel and has been to China, Costa Rica, and Germany. Here are their Zoom links. As I've stated before, these slides will be available for you, so everyone can get a copy of these Zoom links. Everyone can be able to find them easily in this slideshow. So, Earth Science with Mr. James and Ms. Marshall. Their classes are every first period, 9:20 to 10:20, or second period, 10:22 to 11:22. The first period Zoom link is here, second period Zoom link is there. Golden office hours Monday through Friday, 2:05 to 2:40, and the gold link is here as well. So in Earth Science curriculum, week 1, scientific thinking and processing. 2, calculating mass, volume, and density. 3, graphical relationships and rate of change. 4, correlation versus causation. 5, summative assessment number 1. 6, layers of the atmosphere and weather variables. 7, pressure systems, dew point and relative humidity. And 8, cloud formations and the review of meteorology. And that's where the Earth Science class is right now. And that's now we're into art. So we have Ms. Howell, who teaches art appreciation. Her favorite things are traveling, watching old school television. She's also, I'm sorry, Ms. Howell is normally she's a global studies teacher for 10th grade. So that's why she's not here. So she's traveling, watching old school television, sleeping, my kids and my pets. They're her gold office hours linked. You have the class schedule every Tuesday and Wednesday, first period, 9:20 to 10:20. And then gold office hours schedule Monday through Friday, 2:05 to 2:40. So the Zoom link is below, and her favorite artist right there. So let's move on to Mr. Campo. The interests, he likes trading stocks and cryptocurrencies, Disney, cats, sci-fi, philosophy, Yankees and Jets, both my least favorite teams, learning to code in R. And then we have what we've done. What is art? The purpose of art. Is art supposed to be beautiful? Types of art, or art forms. The 4-step art critique, analyzing photography and where we're going, sculpture, painting, digital media, drawing, printmaking, architecture, art museums, a history and their purpose, pricing art, careers in art, prehistoric art, Egyptian art, Greek Roman art, medieval art, Renaissance art, Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, Modernism, pop art, art and architecture, New York art in the 80s, and then today. So we have the Zoom link there. You have so it seems Ms. Howell teaches first period, 9:20 to 10:20, and Mr. Campo teaches 10:22 to 11:22 for his art appreciation class. So we have reached that point. At 6 o'clock, we will be starting with our actual parent-teacher conferences, but we do have some time here for questions and answer for the staff that we have here. You can write it in the chat or ask aloud.
I have a question for Spanish. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I just wanted to know, like, as a parent, how can we help them reinforce the Spanish work while they're at home?
How can you reinforce? I would say encourage the student to watch maybe if they have a favorite program, depending on the maybe cable provider that you have, your child could switch the settings so that they're listening in Spanish, but there's English running across the bottom of the screen. That's one way to do it. As they learn more Spanish vocabulary, you would want to maybe have them do the same thing, but switch the settings now to Spanish so that they can start matching and recognizing perhaps what they're hearing, what they're seeing with maybe what they're understanding. They can listen to music. I would say their goal should be to create maybe like an hour of Spanish immersion at home. So there are different ways of doing it. I would say tap into their interests. So that's where listening to music, but then taking it a step further, looking at the lyrics. Apart from that, you could have your child ask you to review some of the speaking exercises with them. The platform does provide scripts. It does provide a vocabulary guide. So it's possible for the student to, I'm sorry, I'm seeing someone asking about an individual student. I'm not going to talk about any one individual student here. If you would like to set up a conference with me, please email me at saintfard@citypolyhs.org. Okay. I would say that. I would say in terms of the cultural facts, when they give students assignments like learning about what the significance of the Mexican flag is and what the colors represent, perhaps having a conversation about that. So I would definitely say, take a look at the actual contents of any particular unit and see if there's a point in which the family can engage. And anything beyond that, you can email me and we can talk about strategies, but creating an environment of immersion, an hour a day, where it's fun, where it's not something that is graded, where they're maybe making a connection to a friend or family member who can have a basic meet and greet conversation. So just email me if you would like any more specifics or any other ideas or strategies.
Thank you.
Ms. Laura, do you want to explain what you just posted in the chat for everyone?
Hi, everyone, again. My name is Denise Laura. I am your 9th grade school counselor for the upcoming 3 years, if you guys weren't here, because there was only like 18 people when I was talking, but it's all good. I don't take it personally. So in the chat, I added a file that I created for myself and for some other parents. And I'm like, hey, let me just go ahead and share this. So if you guys look at the chat, you can download that. That has the school schedule on it, so then it could be easier. Also the academic calendar when important dates are coming up, as well as all of our emails, like teacher emails. So hopefully that can be more helpful and more of use to you guys. And that's about it.
Okay, so there's a question in the chat. I'm going to read it aloud for the teachers. How can parents and teachers work together to enforce that our kids take notes during class? So.
I'll say that I've been calling parents, especially in the 10th grade because I'm teaching health in 10th grade. And on the parent side, I would say have the assignments open when you see your child, have the assignment open in Google Classroom while the class is going on. Because a lot of students are saying, oh, I don't need to take notes. And then they're trying to relearn everything by themselves through the video, where we're actually teaching it in person. The video in Google Classroom should be something that it's a resource that you could go back and use. So on the parent side, it's to just tell the child, you should have your Google Classroom open and you could take notes right in the Google Doc. And this way you're not doing double the work. And on our side, I would say the same thing that teachers are telling the students, that these aren't these sessions where we're having conversations on Zoom. They're not for just discussion. They're also to enhance your work in the Google Doc.
As an English teacher, to add on to what Mr. Cohen was saying, we don't actually take notes in the traditional way. The note taking that we're doing is annotating. We're annotating the text that we're reading, and the students are having conversations with the text. They're asking questions. They're making observations. This is note taking. This is teaching them how to take notes for when they go to college and they're given a text and they have to answer the question about something that they've read, whether it's an English text or an engineering manual or something where they have to really begin to have a conversation with the text. It's note taking, but it's note taking in a different way. You're actually taking notes within the text. I know Dr. Watson. Dr. Watson, are you still here?
Yes.
To talk about NL notes?
So we tackle the notes in living environment anyway, where they're supposed to be paraphrasing, like making bullet points out of the notes that they read and then adding to them later. So part of what we do, what Ms. Dev and I started doing, is we ask questions throughout the class on Google Classroom that they're just worth a few points, but it keeps kids on point. And then secondly, we count the Kahoot, which is like an online quiz. But it's like an open notebook quiz. So we actually count that as a quiz grade. And kids are supposed to do the work on their own in the week leading up to class. But if they pay attention in class, then they will definitely do well on the quiz. So that's what I would say.
We still have 15 minutes. Does anybody have any other questions? Preferably questions not about their own child, because right now we are going to be having the parent-teacher conferences where we will be able to discuss specifics about each and every one. You can put it in the chat. You can say it aloud.
One thing is that I want to say, and I shared this with the 9th grade team. Again, this is Miss Laura, the school counselor, is that one thing that's very helpful is for parents to have access to their students' Google Classroom, because sometimes when I'm going through Google Classrooms, I see students submitting things, but they're actually submitting blank forms just so then they could say submit. So another suggestion is that please sit down with your students and like, oh, show me what you submitted. So then you can go through it and make sure. And then you can see the most up-to-date current assignments that they're doing and stuff. Because, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong, the 9th grade team, every subject gives about one assignment per week. They do have to practice time management. They do have to break down their days. And at the same time, we've even integrated free period, so then they could still be in that school mindset. So then once they're free after Spanish or after math, then they're able to still continue and go back on some work. I've also noticed, like, please go and sit down and watch the videos for each class, because a lot of students are not seeing like the 10 to 15 minute clip that teachers are submitting on Monday. So those are like my little like gems that I'm dropping that can make a big world of difference, rather than like playing catch up before the last week of the marking period.
I'll even add to what you're saying about the Google Classroom and say that I think pretty much every parent I've spoken to, I say, you should have their login. Just have their Google Classroom, their Gmail login on your phone. Like you can see their Gmail, you can monitor, right? You're not gonna open it, just monitor their Gmail. You'll see the stuff posted from Google Classroom. You can go in there and look at the assignments yourself, especially like if you're at work and they're like asking you like, you're like, how's your stuff going? And you want to be able to help them. You can actually go in and look at the assignment, because unfortunately with the parent or guardian access, it's very, very limited. So you can actually see everything the kids see, your child sees, if you have their login. So that's what I would say. Have their login for that and have it on your phone along with their Google Calendar. If you have the Google Calendar for their account on your phone, it'll help remind you if they have gold. The calendar will pop up. You can help remind them to go to it, etc.
I'll also just add on to what Miss Laura said about reading the directions and watching the videos. I'm finding a lot of the 9th graders in my class in phys ed, the only reason why they're losing points, if you do the workout, then you get 100, you're gonna get credit. But the reason why there's a lot of students not getting 100 in phys ed on their assignments is because they're not watching the video. So they're posting numbers that can never happen in the exercise, or they're using the wrong terminology, which was in the directions. So somebody's putting 1 minute for something that said minimum 20 minutes. You know, that's the knowing the every subject has their own vocabulary, and going in and reading the vocabulary and reading directions and watching the video, especially if they weren't paying attention in the Zoom session, is really essential.
So there's a question in the chat. Are all parents meeting with their child's advisor instead of the actual subject teachers? I can take that. Yes, they're meeting with their advisor or their parent-teacher conference teacher for today and tomorrow. The issue at hand is because of the fact that some people are remote. We have some blended, although right now nobody is in the building. We felt that it was easiest to have 15-minute conversations with each parent so that we could have a timed schedule to be able to do so. And then all of the teachers have made notes about how your child is doing in those classes. So it's not that the teacher is going to be speaking for only him or herself. They're going to be speaking for all the other teachers. We have their pupil path available. We have their anecdotes about your students available. So we'll be able to share that. And then if you still need to reach out to another teacher after this, if you don't feel like you were satisfied with the answers that you heard, we will happily give you teachers' emails and you will be able to reach out to them as well. Does that answer the question?
Also, could I just mention about if you send a message through Scheduler, Pupil Path, it goes to the DOE email, and not every City Poly teacher checks their DOE email daily. But if you send it through the City Poly email, I would say that you're going to get a better response if you use the City Poly email.
Ms. Laura, you're giving them a list of all of our emails, right? So that's not even so you can just
It was attached. Did any
okay.
parent, was a parent, like, just confirm, was anyone have any issues downloading that file?
Ms. Laura, I couldn't download the file. Actually, I don't even know where it is.
Oh, you actually came late. I'm gonna share it again. All good. I'm sorry, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. All good.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And you'll also have access to this slideshow, which has everybody's email on it as well. So as well as the Zoom links, in case your child suddenly goes, I don't know where it is. It's going to be on this slideshow.
And most of us, it's just our last name at City Poly HS. There's a few exceptions, but most of us, it's just our last name. Like your child, it's their first dot last name. It's just usually, some of us, not all of us, but it's just usually our last name. So I'm Watson, Dove, Avery. At
Where can we find
citypolyhs.org.
this, you said the slides of this on the YouTube or how?
I'm sorry, Ms. Miller, that broke up a little bit.
Oh, I said, how do we find the slides to get the information, like the emails of the teachers, you know, the information is on the YouTube thing you guys have, or how? Do we get the email information for this, or see the slides from this meeting to get all the teachers' emails information?
Avery, I think she's asking where does she get the slides that we're looking at today? Is it through the school website or school email?
That's
what
someone
she's
will
asking.
be sending, I'm going to check in. I'm guessing Mr. Sanford will send it out since he has all the emails of all the parents. If not, I can always do it tomorrow, but it will be sent out at some point within the next 24 hours. There was a question about pupil path. I'm going to put the name of the teacher. I mean, he was already here. Mr. Sanford, are you still here? I know he had to step away. Okay, Mr. Sanford stepped away, but no, that's me dinging. Sanford at City Poly. HS.org.
I do have the email. Okay.
To reach him for pupil path. No problem. And if you need, if someone just wrote about pupil path, right, Mr. Sanford, because he will help you with getting into pupil path. I'm sorry, Ms. Laura, were you going to say something?
No, all the emails again. I just re-put the file on the chat.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Cool. Mr. Avery, there's a question about emails. Did you see it?
Multiple emails from each subject teacher. How can teachers coordinate it so it's not so overwhelming? That is a great question. I think right now, because we are, I'm sorry.
No. I was going to put my 2 cents in. So I actually do get overwhelmed with emails as well, because I'm in every Google Classroom. So like the 10th grade, the 9th grade, even some of the seniors, but I've turned notifications off, right? So, but with a the students can like adjust the notifications if it's for responses or for assignments. So they just have to go to the settings and go into notifications. But the thing is that I'm kind of wary is that I'm worried that they might miss some important information with that. So then Mr. Avery, you can take it from there.
No, I think that would be very helpful. I think the concern right now is that because we are dealing with a lot of remote learning and blended learning, but a lot of remote learning, that teachers need to get information across, especially you're going to get emails whenever an assignment is posted. You're going to get an email whenever there's a comment about if you're getting gold. You're going to get an email if you're getting a response to an email, if someone's turned in work and the teacher is responding and grading the email. But you know, in this time of COVID, I'm not sure if there's a way to if we were all in the building, there would be fewer emails. But I think right now, because we are so attached to email and to technology, that we can cut it down a little bit. But I don't know if there's a lot more that we could do. I don't know if anybody else has this feeling. I know we're running low on time because it's 5:56 and parent-teacher conferences start at 6 p.m. Does anybody want to quickly comment on either what I said or any ideas that they have? If the child knows that they're going to be on top of Google Classroom, then they can adjust the settings. But I don't know, like I use my email to know when I'm getting things added to my Google Classroom, and I don't have the Google Classroom notifications on my phone. So I chose one. So, but I want to be able to go back and look at all them. And then there's a way you can just, once you're sure that they're safe, you can mark all of them as red, if that's something they choose to do. That's what I do.
Okay, it is now 5:57. If you should have a time, if you have time set up for tonight, then you can, when you have your time, the teachers all have their Google, their Zoom links in their sign-up sheets. Ms. McCoy and Ms. Calix said they had a link to a Google Meet. It's the Google Meet that you would do if you were coming in every other Tuesday to talk about blended learning. They will be on at 6 o'clock. So you can just go to that Google Meet. Does anybody have any last minute pressing questions?
I don't really have maybe this question. Pupil path is not always accurate. Most of the time when I try to get in, I don't even get in. It's giving me wrong information, or the password is not working. A whole bunch of things is happening there. I reached out to Mr. Sanford already, and he said he's not really the technical person to reach out on that, but he does help. The only thing is it doesn't work.
Okay. if you could just put your email to me directly in the chat, or email me at, I'm going to put my email up here, and I will transfer it over to, actually, right?
Avery, we could take a look at, just take our email, and I could try to see from like the technical aspect of it to see maybe it's something that her password needs to be reset, or something like that.
Mr. Arias, I'm putting your email.
Yeah, that's fine.
The chat. So write Mr. Arias, and he's much better at technology than I am. I'm sorry, someone was, okay. Someone
You could write Mr. Arias about any problem that's in City Poly. Mr. Arias has all the answers.
Don't believe this guy.
All right.
That's
It is 5:59.
That's a fact, Cohen. That's a fact.
So you have our email. Here we go. Ms. Ejik has put, if you have requested a Zoom to your child's conference tonight and you did not receive the Zoom link, you can email Ms. Calix at citypolyhs.org. Ladies and gentlemen, it is almost 6 o'clock, and the teachers need to get to the parent-teacher conferences. We look forward to speaking to you one-on-one, and thank you for coming.
Bye, everybody.
Good evening, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, have a good evening, everyone.
Don't be nervous.